All right, guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 back at you again for my live review of tonight's edition of NXT that takes place at Full Sail University. Well, not always, but of course, most of the time it does. We're going to take a look back at everything that happened on tonight's show. Overall, this episode was good. I liked it, but same time, got a little weird in the second half. I don't know why. Like the women's segment was weird to me. And the main event, was a great match, but what happened afterwards, I'm like, okay, making a statement, but who came out to help Ricochet? I'm just like, why is he helping Ricochet again? I don't know. It was a little, that second half was a little weird again. It wasn't awful for sure. I liked it, but it was still a little weird because of the circumstance going on. But we'll talk about that, of course, when we get there. We got Mark in the live chat. What's going on, Mark? Thank you for joining me live. And this is the second episode, actual episode, as we are now on the road again to NXT TakeOver New York, which I'm going to try to make card predictions for Fastlane and TakeOver and maybe WrestleMania sometime next week, again, before I leave for my trip next Thursday. Just so get them out there and get the views up. Because, again, my match cards have not really done too good with views so far this year. I mean, lately, I don't know why. Well, the TakeOver Blackpool card actually did pretty good. But other than that, the other ones, I've been really hitting out of the park with the match cards lately. And I don't know why, guys. But, it is what it is. But, we'll get right into it, though, of course, for this review. So we open up with a match with Dominik Dijakovic, who, again, is some new guy who still trying to get behind this guy. Yeah, he's a big dude. He looks like he's dangerous, but still not quite that into him yet. Taking on now former the Mighty or TM61 member Shane Thorne, since a few months ago, Nick Miller left WWE. But again, to me, I feel like Nick Miller is only more so taking a break, as I said in my video, because he seemed like he just wanted to go back to Australia and focus on being a father for right now. So obviously it seemed like the door's open for him to come back. I feel like he just needed a break. So I did like TM61. Them as heels. I wasn't quite understanding them as heels though, but so this is Shane Thorne's first match as a single star, and of course we'll see how the singles run goes. But Dijakovic defeated him though with his finisher, the Feast Your Eyes, which is some neat thing where he does like a fireman's carry, drops you down. It's kind of similar to Ty Dillinger's tiebreaker, but except that he just takes him down, just drops him down, and he just literally just smashes right in between the bridge and the nose, his eyes. I don't know. I feel like the way he delivers it could look deadlier, even though I know they probably can do only so much with it without actually knocking someone out. But I feel like the way he does it looks a little choppy, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. Again, I'm still trying to figure out this Dominik Dijakovic. I mean, I saw him in action. He was like Chris Dijakovic, or it was my last NXT event I went to last September, which, by the way, I am going to be going to an NXT live event on March the 1st here. So I look forward to seeing who I see there and, what all happens there as well. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm still head scratching at this Dijakovic guy and just seeing what he brings to the table. So he beats Shane Thorne there. We have now. Here's where I thought the show took its main course. This is the main theme of tonight. Undisputed Era was in a new area backstage, and Adam Cole saying he's tired of hearing that their 2019 has gone off to a bad start. Hasn't anyone ever heard of speed bumps? O'Reilly says that's all it was, and says they'll get back on the road and reclaim the NXT tag titles. Bobby Fish agrees, and Roderick Strong's excited that they're teaming back up, which is he talked about Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish teaming back up again. He says he can go after singles gold, but still be part of the Undisputed Era, which again still gets me wondering if Bobby Fish did not get injured, was the plan all along for Roderick Strong to join Undisputed Era? Which I'm still wondering that to this day. Was that the plan all along? Again, it's worked out great for Roddy, give him something fresh to do in NXT. But would that have happened if Bobby Fish didn't get injured? But again, it looks like we're having Fish and O'Reilly, be the ones going after the tag titles, and who knows what Cole and Strong's going to be up to. This year, all four of them will be dripping in gold, and Cole says that starts tonight when he faces Ricochet, who is in way over his head. This is still their year, and that is undisputed. We then get a flashback from last week when Io Shirai pinned Shayna Baszler in a 6-woman tag team match in their main event, which obviously did kind of upset Bianca Belair because she wanted to be the one to prove that she could pin Shayna because she came so close to doing so at Takeover. What's it called? Takeover Phoenix, of course. So backstage afterwards, Io was interviewed saying she's coming for the NXT Women's Championship, and Kairi says that she is too. But then the EST of NXT interrupts to say she doesn't have a problem with them, but she had Shayna beat in that tag match and in Phoenix. They need to back off because the title is hers because she still believes that she is undefeated. Pretty much, even though you're not anymore. I mean, I know you passed out, but she still believes that she is undefeated because she almost beat Shayna Baszler. So we'll see where this continues to go as well. We then have 205 Live's Humberto Carrillo, and he's partnered up with Stacy Irvin Jr. They're in the ring, but then they get interrupted. But this was interesting. Cassius Ohno came out to say he's been back in NXT for 2 years. He just wants to say that all of us Full Sail fans make him sick. He's hated everything about them, their faces, and their chants. I think they know everything, but he's going to tell them something they don't know. He's out of here. He's going to go somewhere he can prove he's the best, whoever did it. And then Keith Lee comes from behind, getting his comeuppance on Ohno and blasting him with an elbow. He gets on a microphone and mockingly says, "Oh no," to an unconscious Cassius Ohno, then sings, "Oh my God," instead, which he actually could sing pretty good. He said he should at least be thankful we didn't hit him in the dangling bits like Ohno did. And if he's leaving, he shouldn't let the door hit him in the ass on his way out. He apologizes to the guys in the ring for the interruption and says, "Let's get the show on the road," which has the Street Profits then coming out their opponents. As they were mocking Ohno by laying next to him on the ramp and pretending he's having a seizure during a Street Profits entrance, which was kind of funny. But then there was a backstage segment afterwards that Ohno, in his bag, is like walking towards the door, and that's like, "Is it true you're leaving?" And he says, "What is that sign?" It's putting up the exit sign. So again, I don't know what's going to happen with Ohno. I mean, I kept feeling like at some point he could go up to the main roster, but at the same time, he's kind of been just that. I mean, he was back in NXT, he was winning matches. But again, he just became that scrappy veteran who was just kind of just putting people over. So again, I don't know if either he's going up to the main roster. Is he going? I mean, because he does have a match in 2 weeks, of course. Well, even though it was pre-taped on NXT UK with Walter, either going to the main roster or maybe he's leaving and going somewhere else. Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't get the full vibe that WWE has like a long-term plan for him to go to the main roster. I mean, I'd like to see him what he can do up on the main roster, but right now I'm still head scratching. I'm just like I'm not sure where he's gonna go, and if he's gonna go up to the main roster, if he's gonna go to AEW or somewhere else. But we'll see, of course, where it goes. But it looks like Cash on NXT are done, so a little bit of a shocker there. But we'll see what happens there. Let's see here. Mark says, "What I don't get is why Bianca keeps referring to herself as undefeated when she lost at Takeover Phoenix." Again, maybe she's kind of in denial that she lost because she felt that she pushed Shayna Baszler to the limit, which I felt she did. Again, the match did show that Bianca can hang with the big girls in the ring, since I kept saying she was just beating a lot of people, but at the same time I felt like she wasn't really getting that big spot, making her feel like a true big star for sure, as I said beforehand. But that match was to make her feel like she's a bigger star. But I think she's just in denial that she lost that match. She feels that she just about beat her. That tag team brawl was crazy, which that was good. We'll get to that in just a second. But we did have the match with the Street Profits taking on Humberto Carrillo and Stacy Irvin Jr., which I like this match. It was fun. Styles mixed in very well, especially, of course, with Montez Ford and Humberto Carrillo, which I'm glad they actually, because the past couple times Carrillo's had a match in NXT, again, it was right around the time when he got called up to 205 Live, and he put on that amazing performance against Buddy Murphy in his debut. But they still kind of treated he was just an extra in NXT, but they actually gave him some time to work together with Montez Ford. It was fun and fast paced. There was a moment where um where Carrillo and Montez Ford shook hands, but then Montez takes it and kicks him in the midsection. And at first, I start getting this thing of like, what if it look like, like what if the Street Profits are going to turn heel? Which I'm like, I don't think they should turn heel, Kenny. They need to give these guys runs as baby faces still getting to the tag titles, I feel. But it did, of course, show that they did have a little bit of an edge, since that they're serious about going for the gold. As I said last year, it looked like they were on the verge of. Because again, I thought last year by Takeover Chicago 2 or even SummerSlam weekend, Takeover Brooklyn 4, I felt that the Undisputed Era were going to be dropping the tag titles to maybe like the Street Profits or the Mighty, because they were in contention because they did face Authors of Pain in number one contenders match, but then they had that one match in NXT that I didn't like for Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, where they kind of made it look like a joke. I felt with that thing where Montez Ford was trying to get him to get Paul Ellering drink from the cup, and it kind of made them both look stupid. I felt so. Honestly, I have a little bit of an edge here because after the match, they're on the microphone. Ford says everyone's going for gold and they want a piece of the action. Their time in NXT has been a bit of a roller coaster ride, and roller coaster means fun. But make no mistake, they're always ready to go to war. And if the War Raiders want to go to war, which then brings out one of my favorite upcoming teams, the European Union, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. They say that no one deserves a shot at the tag titles more than them. They get ready to square up with the Street Profits. Then out comes Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. All three of them start pushing and shoving. Then out comes the War Raiders themselves with the titles. They say they hear a lot of talking, but no fighting. They said, if you want the titles, come and get them. They start marching to the ring, but from behind them comes three members of the Undisputed Eras. Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish start brawling with them, and the other three teams start to brawl as well. And the War Raiders just put boots to them and fought back. They clear the ring, press slams Danny Burch onto the other men on the floor as Undisputed Era looks on, frustrated that their plan didn't work. Obviously showing that, they're not the hot shot in the division right now. It's definitely the War Raiders who are just looking unstoppable for sure. Again, especially Hanson again. Again, Rose good, but I think Hanson definitely stands out most for me still with the War Raiders. They get another excellent video package focusing on Johnny Gargano's 2018, and we're reminded that he defends North American Championship against Velveteen Dream next week, who won the Worlds Collide tournament. Then we had this. Now, this was weird. It was Tainara Conti taking on Aaliyah, who I thought both of them were heels, first off. But during the match, Vanessa Bourne randomly shows up at ringside. And I don't know if this was meant to turn Tainara Conti face or whatnot. I'm not sure. But Vanessa Bourne just comes down at ringside. And Aaliyah gets a rare singles victory, which again, I do like Aaliyah. I think she has potential, but she's for too long been in that position where she's like just the one there to put on good matches and eat pins. So yeah, it's fine they're getting this win here, but I'm just like, okay, aren't all three of these women heels though? With Vanessa Bourne in her corner, which again I didn't quite understand that, and I thought Conti was a heel also. So I was confused by that. But then afterwards, Shayna Baszler just storms out there, and then Aaliyah and Vanessa then try to leave the ring. But then Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir attack Aaliyah and Bourne from behind. And then they also go after Tainara Conti and just decimate them, which again, I'm still not that invested yet in Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. I don't know if I'm going to understand my expectations for them too high and not letting them grow in a business or a little, but I feel like, they still need some work in my opinion. They decimate them from behind. And then Baszler grabs the microphone and says, that was a message to the division. Don't mess with them, and definitely don't piss them off, because Shayna's been just a bad mood ever since she got pinned by Io Shirai last week. So again, it was a storytelling attempt, but why they have to go out there and attack three heels still? Again, if Tainara Conti was still meant to be a heel in this, again, I don't know. I couldn't tell. So I mean, it feels like maybe like Candice LeRae out there, maybe like Candice LeRae, some other established baby face out there. like I feel like I would have been able to, like, get, okay, Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne, okay, but just like it was 3 heels out there, and I'm just like a little head scratch, like a little confused as it. So I mean, it was meant to kind of put over the fact that, hey, Shayna Baszler and her little group there is pissed off right now, and they're dangerous. But again, it could have been someone. It could have done it to someone who was a little more likable. Like again, like a Candice LeRae or a Mia Yim, or because you can't do Dakota Kai because she's still out till like the summer with injury. But yeah, that was just my thoughts on it. Of course, we didn't get a video package of Velveteen Dream covering the Worlds Collide tournament win, how he appeared in Phoenix, and he's going to challenge Johnny Gargano next week. So that's going to be the main event most likely next week for the North American Championship, Johnny Gargano and Velveteen Dream, which will be the rubber match between these two. And then finally, we get our main event, the second match in NXT between Ricochet and Adam Cole. Still like their first match better, but this was still an awesome match again. Biggest thing I love from that first match, I still will not forget. Still, and they did it, of course, when I watched Halftime Heat on Saturday and did a lot of reactions to it again, is when Cole super kicked Ricochet while Ricochet was in the air, like doing a flip, and he was on upside down. That sick ass super kick to the face was still awesome. But this match, I thought, was really good. There was a part in the match, of course, where the kind of things took an opposing turn, where Ricochet got his ankle, tangled up in the rope by the turnbuckle, and Cole just took advantage of it and did some damage to one of the knees, obviously, because, with Ricochet being high flying, he's got, pretty good legs. And there were parts of the match also, like, of course, Adam Cole kind of took over most of the offense for a while, but then Ricochet was showing no fear, but a few times he was showing the fact that, that bad knee was hindering him a little bit, but eventually he was able to get strong again, and he was able to beat Ricochet with a vertigo, with his vertigo finisher, but even though he was kind of hobbling on one knee, he still was able to get the job done. But after the match, the rest of Undisputed Era came down for a beatdown on Ricochet. And then Aleister Black came out to make the save, but he ends up getting super kicked from Cole and an end of heartache from Roderick Strong. So I don't know. Again, I guess again, the things that confused me still again was the stuff with Tainara Conti and then and Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne, and then also like, why was Aleister Black out there helping Ricochet? Like, I'm not sure. Like, we've already seen Aleister Black feud with Adam Cole, of course. Unless you want to do it again for some reason, but I don't know. Like, I was just confused. I'm just like, okay, why is he out there helping Ricochet now? I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know what direction they have Aleister Black, because I guess now they're probably just waiting to bring him up until WrestleMania weekend. Maybe, who knows? Now I'm not sure. I thought he would have been came up after the Royal Rumble, since he was not going to be beating Tommaso Ciampa, and I thought, okay, maybe he's still along as the Halftime Heat. Maybe he's coming out at the Chamber. I don't know. Like, I was just like, why is he? So we'll have to see what happens in the upcoming weeks for sure. So that confused me, but again, didn't hate it, but it was still a pretty good match and a pretty good show. I'll give it a B for NXT. Yeah, so that was my thoughts on NXT, guys. What are your thoughts on NXT as well? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to always click my like and subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at Demand93. And I'll wait till tomorrow, guys, to do my live preview and predictions for Elimination Chamber this Sunday. And as well, tomorrow night, I will be doing my my top 10 special live stream of the week. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in live. This is the 2 live reviews tonight. I will see you guys all in my next video. So then, guys, I'm checking out. This is the Club of the Man 93, and peace out, everybody.